My name is Sione Falemaka. I have a very long name because I was born in a village named Makefu to two families that often fight with one another. From my mother's side, we have a Samoan heritage that she never really talks about it very much. But mostly, I think from my father's side, we may have a Tongan influence as well. I started weaving as a child on Niuean. At the moment, I'm living in Sydney, and I have been for the past more than 25 years. And I've been weaving and beading, and because when I was born, I think I was born with a bandanas plant in my feet or in my hands. So I've always learned to weave from an early age. So I can remember when the women were weaving in the village, I'll be cutting up their mats and starting again to follow the pattern that they weave. That was my introduction to learning on how to weave. I weave from anything I could find, including things from the recycled garbage, things like buttons, beads, very expensive silk threads, and paint, and mixed media, really. Well, I decided to choose the Waka because it's a very important, for the families on the island to have a Waka. And I also remember that my uncle used to make real life model sizes for my father to build canoes from it. But in this particular case, I also chose it because body adornment is part of the theme. And I took a fascination to the shells, so how the shells has been threaded without any hole that has been drilled into it, which I think is quite an ingenious way. And also in my work, I like threads, yarns, and strings. So I also was taken by how they had. Looks like this is not even spun, but I think it's been singularly plied out yarn threads from a senet and then plaited together to use as latching and hatching in the construction of this canoe. But these prototype for making either headdresses or other ornamental decorations for the body. These particular pieces of objects are very interesting because they are made out of fofo plant, which is the wild hibiscus trees that used to grow around the island, and there's quite a long procedure and process in preparing the actual fiber before it's ready to be used. And normally, when we normally chop down these trees, tie them into bundles and then stick them in the ocean, left with lots of rocks on top of it so they don't float away. And then after 6 weeks, you go back and you peel it off, and you end up with this lovely white fiber. And I think the whiter the fiber was more valued at the time, what I remembered. It's got quite a unique sort of twining sort of technique to it, and as you can see, it sort of could be a flower or could be anything that could be shaped up to be decorative, of course. And in my work, I use a lot of feather that I have used, like weaving the band first and inserting the feather into the framework, which sort of derive again from this ancient Polynesian techniques of wrapping. I mean, this is wrapping one fiber with one string and tied it every so often, I think at a regular repeat, just to ensure it doesn't fall to bits as the wearer wears it about. And they generally represent a lot, happy times, I think, for communities. These are like things for joyful moments in people's life when they have festivals and stuff like that. We call it I'm calling it garlands of joy.